Hello, this is Glad Mukesh in Department of Physiology, Sri Satya Sai Medical College and Research Institute. This presentation is to brief you about the Google Forms, a free tool for the academia. The learning objectives I have identified are three: understanding the Google application Google Forms, how to use Google Forms for teaching learning programs, how to use Google Forms for research. Prerequisite for learning this Google Forms is that you should have a personal Gmail account. If you do not have one, you can create one. You should have a basic knowledge on designing a questionnaire, also a basic knowledge on Microsoft Word and Excel sheet handling. Use of Google Forms. I have categorized this into academic use and research use. In academic setup, you need all types of feedback questionnaires can be designed using Google Forms. You can also develop online quiz for students. You can develop self-assessment modules for students. You can even create session feedback questionnaires for the participants in conferences, workshops, lecture series that you organize. In terms of research, I believe if you have a large population whom you cannot meet personally, to have a survey done, you can use these Google Forms. Medical education related surveys from students can be done. Population who knows to use internet in their mobiles, people who can't spare their time for your research but can fill in a form at their place and leisure. At the most, you can even collect data across institutions, states, countries and continents, provided you have a collaborator in those places. To explain the methodology, just log into your Google account, click on the drive, you have a link open in a new tab, your drive is seen here, you have a new button, click on it, you have a drop down menu, there is something more on the bottom, click on it, you will have a Google Forms. When you click on the Google Forms, you will be getting into a template form which is common for all. So you can see this template where you have lot of buttons, lot of choices for you to make before you send the form as a questionnaire to somebody. See this, you can fill in the title you want to give for your form at this page. For example, feedback form on the lecture conducted. You can give a brief description of what is your agenda behind collecting this data from the respondent, or in case in research you can add a written consent form there. You can type your first question and you can add on the answer optional question response. The response could be a short answer, paragraph, multiple choice, check boxes, drop down, linear scale or multiple choice grade. You can explore all these buttons one by one by yourself, and you can see the other buttons available here. This plus mark is to add questions, T is to add more title and description. You can add images from the web or from your Google Drive. You can post YouTube videos or subject videos for the students or the research participant to go through. You can link the URL or the video as such, and this is to add more and more sections, like you have 3 or 4 pages of questionnaire, large size questionnaire booklet, a battery of questions included, then you can have these sections. So this is another part of when you click the title form, you have the corner buttons on the, you have a lot of buttons on the corner, you can see add-ons. I have used one add-on here, the form limiter. These are the color palette, you can change the color of this questionnaire that you prepare. You can preview every time you fill up a question, you give the choices, you can see how it looks in a full-fledged questionnaire. The settings button next, we will go to the settings later, and that is the send button. You can, if you click, it will ask for the sending options, will pop out and you can fill it. Last button one there is all about making a copy of the same questionnaire that you prepare. You can move it to a trash, delete it, or you can get a pre-filled link, or you can print out the questionnaire, or you can add collaborators with your research. You can also script editors and a lot of add-ons. Settings. When you click on the settings, you get three options: general, representation, quizzes. So it requires sign in. If you tick this button, it requires sign in. It may be used within your institute, or it can collect email addresses from the respondent, and also it can limit to one respondent, so that a respondent will not respond twice for your question asked. And you can give options for the respondents that they can edit after even submitting that form, or they can see the summary of responses that you get. And if you need to save all the time, when you look at the presentation, the questionnaire as such, it can show progress bar, it can shuffle the question order, and also it can give links to submit another response by another friend of the person whom you have sent. And you can type a confirmation message at the bottom and save it. And for quizzes, you have little more options. You have a release date. Immediately after each submission, the student can look up his score, or it can also be a late after manual review, where the teacher can look into the responses and give comments and all. And he can look into the grades later on. Respondent can see what the respondent can see can be, you can fix it by these things. You can look at the missed questions, correct answers, or point values. Links save, don't forget to save. So this is a send form. When you click the send button, you get a pop-up out. You can see automatically collect respondents of, if there is an institute and everybody has an account on Gmail on that institute name, then it automatically gets sent to all the faculty or all the students. Otherwise, you type the email here, give out a subject and send the message. Look at that. It can be shared as send as an email, it can be sent as a web link, or it can be shared Google Plus or Facebook or Twitter. That's the advantage. Now this is a question that I have designed, and this is a description there. This quiz intends to check your understanding of the subject, and I have given a multiple choice question here. And the add-on that I have added is this form limiter. It gives me an option to fix the date and time at which this collection of survey will be end. And you can also either you can give maximum number of form responses, so you can set the limit of respondents to a survey. And here you can see the response section on the response button. You can see a plus mark here. That's to create a new Excel sheet. If you click on it, it will create a new Excel sheet. You can give a name for it, and it will start accepting the responses if the button is on here. And so it develops as a separate Excel sheet in your Google Drive, in your account Google Drive, and thereby it collects the responses automatically. So creating an Excel sheet there, and this button gives you if you want get email notifications for new responses. You can also download the Excel file as .csv files, and you can also delete all the responses. The options are given there. So when you look into after completing the formation of a questionnaire, when you look into your drive, you can see here your questionnaire here as your quiz, and the untitled form, the response sheet that I have created. So every time somebody fills this form, the untitled form will get its response. And this is how I was sent to my own email ID. I see these lines. I have invited you to fill out a form. This is your quiz 2016 BD01, and this small description about the quiz that I have made. This quiz intends to check your understanding of the subject. So suppose when a student clicks that, it takes into this page within this email, and the question starts here. Quiz starts here. You can see the options. He has to click, and at the end he has to submit, and he can also given score points. So once the question is submitted, this will be the final page that it pops out. Thank you for participating in this quiz, and he can view the score immediately if, as a responder, as a data collector, I give him an option to give his score immediately. So that will be the score where he can get his total points, and 3 questions, so 5 each. He has made mistake of 1, and the mistake is highlighted here in red, and the correct answer is also highlighted. So when correct answer is explained, The wrong answer is marked. The total points are scored. Everything is seen, and if the form can be resubmitted again and again, if I given an option like that, then the person can, or the student can submit again and again, and it will be a self-evaluatory assessment module by which he can learn by himself, correcting his mistakes. In case of research, the response sheet will be like this. You can have the time stamp of the respondent, and you can have if he has accepted the consent participation, and all these questions and the responses will be in the Excel sheet. When I click on to the add-ons there, it will give you the summary, every summary of all the responses. For example, here the total respondent were 105, 103 agreed for the consent, and 2 people never didn't accept for the consent. And in case of gender, you can see here male 56 and female 51. Total is 107 respondents. So I have the percentage of responses also displayed in graphical representation. So you can monitor this summary every time in your Google Drive using your Android mobile. So you can see how many of them are submitted, how many are omitted, how many of you are not completely successfully done that submission. Now other survey forms include SurveyMonkey, Typeform, Surveygizmo, Sogo Survey, and etc. Advantages of Google Forms from my experience is easy to prepare, easy to mail, easy to monitor through laptop, desktop or Android mobiles. You can collect your responses in the Google Drive, watch out for a summary of the responses on the go, and use form limiter as an add-on to restrict the number of participants. And the web link can be shared through ShareIt or forwarded in WhatsApp to reach your stakeholders. My experience in using Google Forms in research is by these two projects that I have completed and published. You can look into that for more information. Use Google Forms in your academia. All the best. Your comments and queries can be sent to my email ID gladmahesh@gmail.com. Thank you.